Ladies and gentlemen, it's time to get on your feet.
Okay, so my name is Scott Wombold with the Great Lakes Game Library, and we're here to check out Flat Out, new game that we have on Kickstarter right now, and we're gonna do a little bit of a demo race. So I have some folks here, some early backers, and general contributors for this, and we've had them make cars and drivers using the hot lap rules. So this is sort of the quick get into the action rule set where you get to start out with the car, make a few quick decisions. Really good if you're looking to try out the game. And then also, we're playing this using the asynchronous rules. So, this is one of the huge benefits of a game like Flat Out, in my opinion, is that it's designed that you can play it in person if you have a big group of friends who like racing. Roll the dice, watch how it happens all together. Or, many gamers nowadays have trouble getting their whole group together at the same time, or life happens, things come up. So it's also designed in such a way that, hey, if someone can't make it one night, by all means, you can continue racing. And I know we have a few people here who created drivers for this, and they're going to have to watch later. They're probably right now sitting nervously, being like, "What's going to happen to my driver?" So we have the cars all down here. So each car is made up of 5 different systems: power drive, gearbox, the aerodynamics, the control system, so steering and braking, and suspension. They all have a performance and a reliability next to them. And then each car has a wildcard system that is the driver. So the driver has focus and guts, or guts and focus. I had that backwards. And those are the way that and they'll substitute that in on one of these laps, probably on the last lap of the race, based off of the strategy that they chose. And there is some strategy in this game. It's a 5 lap race, and over time, it gets harder to overtake your opponents on laps. It's really easy to on lap 1. Laps 2 and 3 are a little harder. Laps 4 and 5 are even more difficult. During that time, you get to use your driver ability for one of the laps. You also have to take a pit stop. Well, kind of have to take a pit stop. You could try to do the whole race without stopping, but then you have to, at the end of the race, roll to see if you lose a tire right at the end or if you run out of fuel, which could both be detriment. And there's a lot of sort of that strategy and just a wide range of things that you could do during the race. I don't think we have any of it today. I sort of downplayed it, but cheating is definitely part of this, tampering with your tires and fuel, um, trying to avoid being disqualified. Uh, in a full season, you're doing things where you're trying to collect money so that you can build a better car next year. Take into account things like weather, uh, and everything else that if you've had a silly racing argument about the racing, then it's probably in here. Today we're going to be racing at a nondescript, definitely not trademark track in Australia. Uh, and each of the big things that you're going to need to keep an eye on at this track are your aerodynamics, controls, power, and suspension. And we start off with qualifying, and I like to keep it simple. So for qualifying, drivers get to use one of their abilities or one of their systems, and whoever rolls the highest qualifies at pole, and going down the order. So today for the race, we have Timothy Bailiff, Screevels McSpeedy, Dick Johnson, Dash McFly, Bernie Quasar, and Dale Jr. Jr. So we're going to start off here with Timothy Bailiff, who has a pretty simple car, went for reliability for the most part. Um, and we're going to do a roll. So their performance is 2 in that in Aero and all their other systems. So they're just going to choose to start out with Aero, their aerodynamics, and they roll a 10. So they go, that's pretty quick around the track. But let's see if we get into one of these cars that has a bit more performance. So Scribbles McSpeedy has a performance of 3 in control. They can use that because it's on lap 2. They roll that out. Only a 5 though, not handling that very well. That could be a concern. Dick Johnson has a 4 in control. Oh, I almost forgot. Scribbles took the quali bonus. So one of the things that you do before racing is you, of course, put together get a little bit of practice around the track. And one of the things that you can practice is trying to get a really quick lap time for qualifying, so you get to start near the front. So they get to roll an extra 2 dice. Now I'm going to re-roll the whole thing. That's my purview. And they end up with a 19. So that's real quick time around the track. And Dick Johnson has a 4 in the performance for control, and also is set their car up for qualifying. So they add 2 dice for 6 total and come out with 21. So 2 very quick times there. Dash McFly is going to roll 3 dice. Come up with a 13. Bernie Quasar also with 2s across the board, so they're just going to take aerodynamics. Come out with a 10. Dale Jr. Has a 3 in gearbox, but the gearbox isn't in use in this race. So they're going to have to go with 2s. Well, they come out 6. So we know that Dick Johnson has pole position. Scribbles McSpeedy in the second. Dash McFly third. And then Bernie and Timothy are going to both roll again. And they both have 2s, so let's say they go with power for this one. 10 for Timothy and 9 for Bernie. So very close there. And then Dale Jr. bringing up the rear. But in a 6-car race, it's really, there's a lot of room there. So they're all lined up for lap 1. And so we're getting ready to start the race. I'm also going to roll, I don't think it's going to matter, but we're going to roll weather. Australia as temperate, for it is overcast right now at the race, which would potentially result in rain. What we're going to do is after this lap, we're going to roll, and on a roll of a 5 or 6, it's going to rain. So that's potentially something that's going to happen. Alright, so saying up here now, on every lap you're going to have an amount of speed based off of your performance. So you're going to, much like we just did, roll your dice. You're going to, however, during the race we are going to worry about reliability. So we'll talk about that more in a second. And then you're going to add track advantage. So this number up here, the 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, is how important it is to be in first place. When all the cars are packed together early in the race, you have a lot more opportunity to overtake. As the race goes on, you're going to start to spread out more and more. So the way that we do this is just taking this track advantage modifier and multiplying it by the number of cars below you. So for Dick, 1 times 5 for 5, and then you can tell pretty easily, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. And this sort of gives you a little bit of advantage for being in the front in the race. So, okay, let's get started here. So Dick Johnson is going to roll arrow. So they're going to roll 2 dice for performance, like we did during qualifying. But they also have this 8 in reliability. So if they roll more than an 8, they are at risk, and they have to roll here on the risk table, which generally speaking has a lot of bad things. Right now, though, they only roll a 6, so they are pretty safe. They'll add that to the 11. Screebles McScreeby now. Screebles McSpeedy. That's gonna be a nightmare all night to say. Aerodynamics also of 2/8 with a 7. So neck and neck, getting up there, they're gonna have a battle, and we'll get to that in a second. Dash McFly rolls a 10, which is really fast. That would get them up past the front two, but they do have to roll a risk. They roll a 5, that keeps them safe. A 4, 5, or 6 on that roll, and they are safe. 3 or lower, and bad things start to happen. Timothy Bailiff. Now, Timothy, by nature of focusing on reliability, their arrow system is not really going to put them at risk ever. So they can roll a 10. They can survive that. And that's one of the, again, most of this being about choice and strategy calls. Focusing on performance, which is going to make you faster, or spending that time making your parts more robust, is definitely always a question that's hanging over your head whenever you're messing around with your car. Also, we're doing arrow for Bernie Quasar. 2-8 again. Coming in with a 6. And Dale Jr. coming in with a
Dale Jr. Jr. and don't you forget it.
Dale Jr. Jr. Alright, so coming in with a 5. So Dash McFly goes ahead, as does Timothy Bailiff, because Dick Johnson and Screebles McSpeedy are battling it out. So this is a 1d6 roll, and most of the time there's just going to be a car that goes ahead and a car that stays behind, and that's the case here. So McSpeedy sneaks up into that 3rd place spot. Johnson falls down. Bernie and Dale Jr. Jr. are going to be taking up the rear. So now track advantage, as you see, goes up to 10, 8. So being in first place now, Dash is going to start to slip away a little bit. We also said we are going to roll for weather 3, so the rain's holding off, and I hope it does, because rain can really throw a wrench into the plans, especially when you're playing asynchronously and people don't have time to react. But if you're all sitting around the table, whether or not you choose to actually take a pit stop now, knowing that rain could be coming, because rain will give you a free pit stop, as will a safety car. So a lot of the drivers opted to hold out. They're going to see if there's a crash going on early in the race that lets them get a safety car and take a free pit stop. But we are going to see a couple drivers here start to go around that. So first up, Dash McFly. So again, the driver could choose to take a pit stop, use their driver ability to take over for one of their stats, or just go with their stat. And right now, they are going to choose to hold out, and we're using control now, which they're going to roll 3 dice on, but they have that 8 in reliability, which, oh dear, that is hard to get a worse roll than that on their system. So that one's pretty rough. We got Bailiff now. It's going to do their control, and again, that. Okay, and we got another battle going on up at the front. Screebles. Now for Screebles, they took adaptive, so they're choosing to adaptive strategy means that they're sort of racing around the abilities of the car. So next lap, they're planning on pitting, and they're planning on ending the race with guts to take, because those systems are 2 of their weaker ones. But right now, they're going to go with the 3-8 in control. So 14, that definitely is going to cause a risk. We'll roll that. And a 6. They are safe. Look at that speed flying up to the front. Another really cool thing that this track advantage has done is if you're a familiar with racing, you're probably familiar with the idea of a track evolution. So cars generally tend to go quicker near the end of the race as rubber gets built up on the track and it heats up. I don't know all the physics behind it, but that is something that goes on. So you could pretty easily find a quote unquote fastest lap if that's something that interests you by looking at the total pace, because the laps will get faster as the race goes on just by nature of the track advantage changing. Um, Next up, we have Dick Johnson, who, while they have a 412 in control, also went for an undercut strategy. So they want to take an early pit stop and hope that a safety car doesn't show up. And then when everyone has to take a safety car roll on lap 4, they get to go ahead. So they are going to... Now, when you take a pit stop, you only roll 1 die ever. So they get a 2. So it's really easy to lose positions on a pit stop. Later in the race, when you have more track advantage, you usually lose less positions. Or if you practice your pit stops, as a few people have, Dash and Timothy, you're gonna lose less from your pit stops. But Dick Johnson has that out of the way now on the race, and now they can just focus on going fast. Bernie Quasar, control, the reliability of 12, comes up with a 7, so they'll get passed, and Dale Jr. with an 8 is also going to get passed, so Dick Johnson falls to the back of the order. And now Timothy and Dash are going to battle it out. 1, the lead car stays ahead in the battle, so Dash McFly holds on to the second place spot. And we're all still racing. So now lap 3 with Screebles in first place. They're opting to pit. Pitting from the front's is actually a pretty good decision. Because, hold on, with a great roll, they are able to just stay out and hold that spot now. So that's a pretty... that ended up working out pretty brilliantly. Alright, so now we're going to do some power. Dash McFly has performance of 3 on their engine, so they're going to let it rip. They're going to hold right to the back of Screebles. Timothy. With a 6. Bernie Quasar. With a 6. Dale Jr. Ooh. Rough roll there. And Dick Johnson. What are we doing? Power. I'm going to let that engine go. Well, 14, but they also took a risk. Ooh, and a 2. So we look over here at the risk roll table, and that's a broken part. So they end up with taking another pit stop right after coming out to replace that wing. And they fall back down to the bottom of the order. As you can see, we didn't have any overtakes this lap because we're nearing because the race is getting further and further spread out. Now we're really going to see an increase here as we go to track advantage 3, 15, 12, 9, 6, 3, 0. Alright, so, and a lot of the drivers are now they're now looking like, well, we didn't get a pit safety car this race. And there is a little bit of strategy that goes into deciding if you're going to wait for a safety car. And this track we chose in Australia has what's called strict track limits. I don't have it noted anywhere on here. We also have to roll to see if there's any rain. And there's rain. So I'm going to color this to show that we have rain coming in. So when a rain stop hits, everybody takes a pit stop to put on wet tires. But another thing happens. You now can choose to use your guts roll, or you could choose to you're going to roll 3 performance, no matter what you're doing, because that's what your rain tires are. 3 performance, and then a reliability of 10. So that's slightly less than what usually you can get in the game, so it's a little bit more chaotic when it's wet out there. So we'll see what ends up happening now for these last 2 laps. It'll probably be in the rain. Back to the track thing. The Australian circuit we're using has strict track limits, which is to say the walls are very close to the track. If a driver makes a mistake, they are probably going to crash. And if we look on here at what happens for DNFs and crashes, we've been doing a couple of risk rolls. On a roll of 1, there's an actual failure, and now you have to roll here for a DNF. And depending on the type of track it is, this is either going to be some sort of DNF where you're able to safely pull the car off to the side of the road and everyone else still gets to race, or there's going to be a crash. And then as you look down here on the crash table, that's likely to bring out a safety car, do a lot of damage to your vehicle that you'll have to pay to repair, and then potentially even worse results out of catastrophes. So hopefully we avoid that today, but we still have 2 laps, and this one is going to be in the rain. Now, with all of our drivers here waiting, they are all going to take their pit stops now. Unfortunately, Dick Johnson, while they had a very good strategy, and I think that would have put him in the front, ended up having the rain and a couple of incidents that pushed them to the back. But that's the brakes for racing. Scribbles McSpeedy with a 10 coming in right under that reliability for the rain tires. Dash McFly with a 9. $13 for Timothy Bailiff. That's going to be a risk. Roll of a 5. They keep it safe. Bernie Quasar. 9. Dale Jr. with a 6. And Dick Johnson with a 5. All right. So, moving on. Now we're going to see if the rain continues. Rain doesn't. The rain has dried up, so now drivers are all ready to let it rip around the track. Everyone takes a pit stop again, so that's pretty easy. So now, for the most part, all of our drivers had opted to save their driver roll for the last lap of the race, which is usually where you want to use it, especially in the one-shot play, because your driver is probably going to be better than your car for the most part. So we're going to start with Scribbles McSpeedy, and they have a 4 in their driver's guts, so they're going to roll 4 dice and compare that to the 12 focus. 13, so just barely breaking the focus, and that's a wreck. Let me double check. Yeah, they did not take an extra reroll for safety, so they're on the DNF table. That's out of control. They're going to roll that again on the crash. Catastrophic crash. Okay, looks awful. So if we were playing in season play, that would be a lot of damage to the car. They'd have to spend a lot of time repairing it, but it looks awful, but no further damage to the driver there. And that would be a safety, and also this would be a safety car on other laps, but on the last lap of the race, if a safety car comes out, we opt for fun here. We don't have to worry too much about safety, just rolling dice, so we race to the yellow. So we're gonna see how everyone else manages to do on this last lap of the race. Uh, Up next, Dash McFly, who basically needs to survive if they want to take home the checkered flag.
What do I need to roll?
They
Can you hear me?
Yes,
All right. What do I need to roll?
you need
Do I roll a d6? How many d6 do I roll?
for Timothy or for Dash.
Dash.
Dash, I'll let you roll Dash. It
Yay, that's
is
me.
Yep. That would be a 3d6.
Okay.
I'll let you roll. And you want to get as close to 16 as you can without going over.
Oh boy. Okay. Sorry. I'm getting my dice together from just putting my children down. Oh boy. This is very anticlimactic. I'm sorry, everyone.
It's all good. That's right.
15.
A 15. A right there for a 27 in total. Timothy Bailiff, did you want to roll? Or you want me to?
You can roll for me. It's fine.
All right. Also, similar spot. 9. Coming out to 18. Bernie Quasar now. 3 and a 20 for 12. Oh, so that's going to be a tight one. Dale Jr. 416. So let's see if they 17, but at risk. So they roll a 2. Now, Dale Jr. did take a reroll. During practice, they focused on making making sure that the car was safe, so they get to reroll that risk. Come ahead way with a 3. So 3 means that they go still not totally safe, but they go wide. So small mistake on the last lap to end up just behind that battle. Dick Johnson, 5 and 12. So we're gonna see. This is almost certainly gonna be a. Yep, they're gonna blow right past that focus, and they'll be safe. But see the well behind Dale Jr. All right, so we know Dash McFly takes the checkered flag, and racing to the line now are Timothy Bailiff and Bernie Quasar. One roll. Lead car stays ahead. Timothy takes second. Bernie Quasar third. Dale Jr. fourth. Dick Johnson fifth. And Scribbles McSpeedy DNFing, but probably lucky to be alive. And that is the race. So, about 25 minutes with blathering all through it. These races go super quick, so you're able to play them, back to back to back. I have set up here, depending on if people want. Not sure if I'll record it, but if we want to hang out and do Monaco and do, we have Monaco, and then we have the Indy 500. I also set up here. If we wanted to do a little bit more racing, but that is how you play the game asynchronously. So. Now, if you're playing with everybody live, those decisions about when to use guts and when to use the safety car, you get to call that in person. So, if you know that rain is coming, okay, maybe we'll hold off on the pit stop. Or, looking to see, oh, I have an opportunity here because the cars in front of me have been rolling poorly. I'm going to try to make a break for it using my guts roll now. But it's really cool that we have that option in there, I think, that even if you have someone who can't make it or is running late, you can still have the game play. I put in the past we played. The idea of that came from a system where, we would play it before our regular tabletop night. So you have a 20-minute race to tack on, get everyone sort of in the mood, and then throughout the week you get to do all of the rules for, managing your car. So going up to all the driver information, handling your car, building it, and that's and that is Flat Out. So it is on Kickstarter right now. Link below, of course. And thank you for watching, and enjoy.